We move into the closing phase.
And we are sadly reaching the end of this, well, frankly, and although I say so myself, unmissable edition of TEF. So I'm going to invite Christos Ellinides, Acting Director General of DGT, European Commission, for some closing words. Christos Ellinides, the floor is yours. Welcome.
It again. Wow. What a great 3 days these have been. It's time to wrap it up, like you say, and it's a little bit sad that we have to wrap it up, I know. But this is the biggest event in the translation industry with the most variety that I have seen in terms of professionals, in terms of domains, and in terms of cultures as well. So I'm really glad that so many people participated in this year's TEF, either here in person or out there in the virtual world. This was the first time we organized this forum in a hybrid format. I must admit, it works for the most part. More than 2,000 language professionals from 100 countries engaged, as it has been said, in useful conversations, vibrant discussions between people joining online or here in person. In fact, we had 1,700 people online following the event and using our conference platform, of course. And we had around 400 participants here in Brussels. The situation outside our own conference walls here in Brussels is tough, to say the least. We still have the war across the EU border and the brutal aggression of Russia against Ukraine counts today 260 days. We continue to experience an increase in the cost of living, together with an increase in inflation and a rise in interest rates. We have a difficult winter ahead of us, and our energy issues are not yet resolved, while world leaders met this week and the week before in COP27 to address the climate emergency that we are facing. Not easy. But it is during times of difficulty that we need to come together as a community and support each other. I'm proud that so many members of our translation community have pulled out all the stops to help the people and government of Ukraine in their hour of need. Yesterday, the Commission proposed an unprecedented support package amounting to up to 18 billion euros for the year 2023. Thanks to this package, I hope that Ukraine will be able to keep on paying wages, pensions, and maintain essential public services running, such as hospitals, schools, and housing for the relocated people. It will also allow Ukraine to start the restoration of critical infrastructure that has been destroyed by this Russian aggression, such as energy infrastructure, water systems, transport networks, roads and bridges. So I really would like to take a moment and pay tribute and respect to the people of Ukraine, but also to all of you that continue to stand in solidarity to these people. These new socio-economic and political challenges come against the backdrop of ongoing, long-term and far-reaching social and technological challenges that have all been surfacing in the panels, in the discussions, and in the talks that we have been having here in these last 3 days. But many professions are being confronted with these challenges, not just translation or interpretation. And a continuous evolution as digitalization changes the world of work and the nature of our jobs will continue. I applaud the success of the translation professionals, you, in integrating and adapting to these changes, not just now, for decades. Perhaps it has not been so evident to most of you, but you have been dealing with a constant and evolutionary approach in the use of technology, not just now. For decades you have been doing it, and you have been embracing advances in technology and finding what is also equally important, and it was very obvious and evident in what I have shared, and finding the aspects of language that are inherently human and need you, humans, to process them. The benefits are often, but not always, visible, and the process has not always been easy and smooth. We need to remain vigilant, every one of us, and alert, so that we can identify and exploit every opportunity out there and avoid any pitfalls in the way. This is one of the reasons why it is so vital that we all come together as a community of committed professionals in forums such as this one and exchange ideas, share best practices, and develop a vision forward as much as common as possible. We can learn from each other and find ways to put to good use our skills to help and be part of solutions. That's why our discussions on accessibility and the role of translation have been so important, and I would like to take the opportunity here to thank all of you for contributing to honest, open, and constructive discussions about this profession. Let me turn to accessibility and the role of new and emerging technologies, such as speech-to-text and automatic speech recognition, in improving access to information. We have listened to panels with expert speakers and participants from a wide range of disciplines, as I have said before, from freelance translators to accessibility experts, subtitling editors, to professionals working for public broadcasting just now. This variety really boosted the quality of the discussions, and it's been good to get views from outside the closed loop of the translation profession. That's how we gain new insights, question our assumptions, and come up with new ideas. The sessions covered also e-health, audiovisual services for the deaf and the hard of hearing, and of course for people with visual impairments. We heard how translation can not only make life easier for those who are in need themselves, but also help those people who are helping them. And this year, the European Year of Youth, we gave the floor to young people, and I've heard so much here, even in the last panel, of the appreciation to these young professionals. We gave them the floor to listen to their views on the translation training and the future of this industry. It has been overwhelming and really valuable, and thank you for that. During his welcoming speech, Commissioner Hahn 2 days ago highlighted two vital points that I would also like to endorse here. First, that a healthy democracy requires that everyone has full access to information. That's the only way we can have a healthy democracy. And second, that linguistic accessibility is and should be a visible hallmark of solidarity in the whole of the European Union. We have seen how vital this is in crisis situations like the Ukraine, but that is only the most recent and prominent example. We have been experiencing other examples as well. We talked about university curricula, translator training programs, and I felt the intensity of the discussion yesterday, but that is exactly why we're here, to again take the floor and voice opinions that may be different, but work on them so that in the end we reach a common understanding. I believe that our European Masters in Translation, EMT, network members and other universities flashed out some interesting ideas here and ways that we can work together with the industry to address the real professional needs required out there. Industry and academia is essential that they work together to address the needs of the market. We recognized the skills of the winners of our new and recent competition among EMT students. We had recently the EMT Challenge competition, as we referred to it, and we highlighted the quality of the students that participated in this competition. Also equally important is the fact that a few weeks ago I was also present in Prague, which is the presidency of the council, holds the presidency of the council right now, in the EMT network meeting in Prague. We have adopted the EMT competence framework that hopefully will guide the teaching of translation, at least across Europe. I consider all of the themes which prevailed during this conference as key features of the Translating Europe Forum. We will continue along the same lines to bring together people from different strands of the language industry to work together with an eye to the future, to identify possibilities and find solutions. We have heard in several panels in the last few days, including the last one, that the role of professional translators may be changing, but it's not diminishing, and that is a fact. We have heard about the role of translators in the global community and how you, as a community of linguists, need to use all the resources and technology available to meet the ever-increasing demand, yes, the ever-increasing demand for translation and for clear communication, which is so essential, especially in times of crisis. We've heard how, now more than ever, the human touch is essential to assessing the quality of output produced by automated tools and to deciding when and how to use these tools and what to look out for in terms of the quality coming out of tools such as machine translation. How the focus shifts from producing content to managing the process, the clarity and the quality can be labeled a paradigm shift, but as one of the panelists over here said, is it the beginning of the paradigm shift or are we in the middle? We will find out as time goes by. But it is truly important that we see a shift, at least in the area and in the environment where I am personally involved, of producing not just translations, but producing content, meaningful content for the people that need to access it and use it. In the afternoon, we listened to fascinating talks and discussions, and thank you, Michael, for a very inspiring speech as well, that looked at the role of translators and translation, first from an ecological perspective, looking at the big picture, but also the role of translation and the power of words in a communicative way. And then, in the last panel, from a future perspective, taking a look at what the next years could hold for us. Difficult questions, the panelists said. We don't have a crystal ball that we can use to predict the future. But it is clear that the future is the young professionals in the way they see it and in the way they want to exploit it and in the way that they can train themselves through lifelong learning programs in the industry. These conversations have been thought-provoking. Myself, I found a lot of them inspiring and quite stimulating. The question, I think the last question was, what's your personal takeaway? I will not indicate it with one word. I'm a very bad linguist. So what I can tell you is that my personal takeaway from the forum is a solid confirmation that professional translators and interpreters, solid confirmation, that professional translators and interpreters have a developed sense for managing change and are able to adapt and thrive as the world around them evolves. And all of this is words that I even heard this afternoon here. Dear colleagues, dear friends, dear guests, the European Commission has already identified next year as the European Year of Skills. It has already been announced that 2023 will be the European Year of Skills. 2022 was the European Year of Youth. And I see that as a continuation. What a great theme for our community, for our students, for our university, for our continuous professional development. Our skill sets must continue to adapt and advance. We cannot remain static in what we have learned, and it was also mentioned here in the panel, after university, and we think that it's not going to be adjusted, it's not going to be changed as we move into a professional environment. It will change, and we need to keep an eye on all of these changes, embrace them, and move along with them. So, thank goodness that linguists are such a creative, curious, and clever crowd. And this was also, I heard it again this afternoon. Look, I'm eating out of your lunchtime. So, thank you all for your contribution during this wonderful event that brought at least some of us here together, hopefully next year more. Special thanks go to our moderators, Aminda and Anya. Ladies, thank you very much. My thanks, of course, also to all speakers and panelists, and thanks to our interpreters for their perseverance throughout the event.
Thank you.
Including those providing to us interpretation through the International Sign Language. I think, I'm not sure, yeah, they're not here, but thank you to them even in their absence. My personal thanks and congratulations to the organizing team and Elisabetta here in DGT. Last but not least, thanks to all of the participants, you that made this event such a success, whether here in person or there in the virtual world. Thank you so much, and I look forward to see you again at the 10th edition of the Translation Europe Forum next year. Have an excellent weekend, and for those of you that are traveling, have a very nice and safe trip. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that very inspiring final rousing speech. Let's just have a quick look at our word cloud and see the final words that we put on. I saw that you were desperately trying to get free sandwiches up as the main one. But do remember that there are a lot of people who are watching online who never got free sandwiches. So to be inclusive, let's slightly ignore the free sandwiches. Specialize, obviously variety, fun, stay positive. I have a few of my own keywords I'd just like to quickly tell you. Not terrifying, but exciting. Solidarity, which we heard from the Commissioner on the first day. Migration and climate migration, which are possibly opportunities for you as translators. Democratization, resourcefulness, and adaptability. And my takeaway is enjoyment. I've really enjoyed taking part in this, and I hope you all have as well. If you've missed some of the sessions, you'll be pleased to know that you can catch up, as you know, on the platform. You can share the sessions with your colleagues, and the video recordings and all the presentations you'll find there. And in fact, you have a whole year to watch them on the platform if you want. And if you want to share the videos with people who weren't registered for TEF, you can actually send them the link to the DGT YouTube channel, where they will all be posted very soon. The TEF platform will also be open for you to continue your one-to-one networking meetings. We've seen on the word cloud, we've heard many times how important networking is and asking questions. So this is a fantastic opportunity. You actually have until the 20th of November to be able to hold those one-to-one meetings. So please do use the opportunity. And make sure that you put on your profile that you are available for meetings, because if you don't, then you won't appear and people won't be able to ask you. So do remember to do that. You've got a week to do it. And the organisers are really keen to hear your feedback to this event. So there's an email winging its way through the ether to your inboxes just now. It's got a link and it's got a short survey to the TEF platform. So when the bell alerts reminding you to fill that in, please do so. Your feedback is really important. It only takes a few moments to do. In a moment, for those of you here, there's possibly an opportunity for more free sandwiches in the light lunch that will be served just outside. And you can obviously continue your networking and discussions. But before bringing this forum to a close, we also have a few thank yous. We'll try not to repeat the ones that we've already had. Anya? Well, we want to thank all the staff of the Charlemagne here for their hospitality, food and refreshments, and a special thanks to the DGT trainees who've been helping out here in the venue. You've really gone beyond and above and beyond. Thank you so much to the technical team who allowed us to be able to hear each other and to see everything smoothly on the screen, and for all the online platform to work so well. So thank you. Your work is often hidden, but it is greatly appreciated. And it's been said already, but we'd really like to thank all the expert speakers, panelists and session chairs for making our jobs so much easier. Absolutely, and the ones who did the online sessions as well. And a big thanks to the musical trio for their entertainment as well. We really enjoyed that. And finally, thank you all for coming. Some travelling very long distances. Tatiana especially, it was an absolute pleasure to speak to you on day one. And of course, thanks to everyone who followed remotely via the online platform and participated so actively. So many questions, and I wish we could have answered them all. We hope you did find it useful and inspiring, and you've gathered some useful contacts and some good ideas to help ensure that translation gives access to all. And for the forward planners among you, we're delighted to be able to announce the dates of TEF 2023. Get your diaries out now. And it's not one to miss, as you know. We'll be celebrating double figures. TEF's going to have its 10th edition, so that's a huge achievement. What are the dates, Aminda? The dates for your diaries are November the 8th to the 10th, 2023, as usual from Wednesday to Friday.
So that just leaves us to say, have very safe journeys home. And so from the Translating Europe Forum 2022 and from Aminda and I,
Goodbye.